watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Welcome to Husky Mag.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Husky Mag. I'm Alexis Pearson and alongside me is Devon Barry. Now, Devon, it might be hard to top the excitement of last week's first show, but we've got some good material for tonight.
That's right, Alexis. Let's kick it off with MORIAH's impeccable performance the other night.
Now, MORIAH is just dominating the beginning of the Husky soccer season, her latest feat being her hat trick against Minnesota State University Moorhead. This now puts Koss at 6 goals on the season, only 2 goals shy of her 8 goals last season. Koss was the only tallies for the Huskies in their 3-1 victory. This hat trick was the first in the record book since Alexandra Pafko's hat trick in 2008 against Minnesota Crookston. Only a sophomore here at St. Cloud State, there is still plenty more to come for Koss to light the lamp for the Huskies.
With the offensive power of MORIAH, the Huskies have won their second consecutive game. Along with MORIAH, the tallies Loya Jordan and Sarah Benhart will each be adding an assist to their assistance on the season. The Black and Red had an impressive 20 shots on the Dragons' net.
Minnesota State University Moorhead would not be able to outplay the Huskies this weekend as they were only able to find the back of the net once. Jessica Dahlman is credited with the Dragons' only goal of the game and her only goal on the season, the assist coming from Ashley Coleman. A fairly clean game as no penalties were taken by either team.
Husker soccer leading scorer MORIAH is back at it again. The team, she's currently leading the team with 6 goals. She had led the team last year in goals, and she is only getting better. She has got 32 career points, which puts her 11th spot on the board. Cash chasing Chris Flesher, who is the current leader with crazy 113 points. The 4-year Husky finished 19 in her career in 1999. She is 45 points ahead of Ann Holgren, who played with her for 3 seasons. Cass, a sophomore, has plenty of time to chase the top spot.
Now switching it up a little bit, the Huskies put up an impressive performance this weekend at the St. Cloud State Invitational. After 1 round of play, the Huskies were seated in 2nd place with 312 strokes, only 7 strokes behind first place Minot State. Wyatt Hansen, David Sharonbroik, Riley Duncanson, and Jack Barnhart all led the team after round 1 with 78 strokes apiece. Winona State trailed closely behind with a score of 314. The best individual round in round 1 came from Minot State's Matthew Bean, who finished with 74 strokes.
The St. Cloud State golf team headed into the home invite on Saturday. Wyatt Hansen finished 2nd overall on day 1. The team had 312 after the 18th hole, only trailing Minot State on day 2. The Huskies were looking to pull the past leader led Schadenbrook and Hansen, who combined for 5 over. The Huskies were able to pull within striking distance. But Carson O'Keefe for the Beavers was too good. He ended Sunday with a combined 151, good enough for the first place on the individual, propelling his team to the top spot.
Now, the Lady Huskies didn't quite get as impressive results as the men's team, finishing in 6th place at the Mustang Invite. The Huskies fell just behind Minot State and Southwest Minnesota State in the standings as the two schools tied for 5th place at 670 strokes, while the Huskies finished with 678 strokes. Augustana would take first place in this tournament with 633 strokes. Laurel Enstrom, however, was the shining star for the Huskies as she tied for second with a score of 76 in round 1 and 81 in round 2. And coming up after the break, we'll talk a little football.
And we'll hit the ice and recap women's hockey. Don't go anywhere.
Some action around the Wisconsin Badger net. There's a goal for the Huskies!
UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Working his way in, Jaden Huff will not go down. He keeps it, Meyer on the left side, he's got a block from there and he's in.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Local TV for the Granite City.
Bring us up to 10.
Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news.
St. Cloud State fell just short of a victory against Wayne State this past weekend, getting handed their second consecutive loss. The Wildcats topped the Huskies by just 1 point with a final score of 23-22. Jaden Huff, Jamison Parsons, and Sam Hartman would be the only Huskies to find the end zone against the Wildcats.
But it wouldn't be enough to top the fierceness of the Wildcats, as Zach Osborne would get 2 sacks and a touchdown, along with the 2 touchdowns of Nate Rogers. The Huskies are now 1-3 on the season. Now, taking a closer look at the standings around the conference. For football, Sioux Falls takes the #1 spot with a 4-0 record, undefeated in the conference. There are 6 teams with the same record of 3-1. Those teams are Bemidji State, Minnesota Duluth, Augustana, Minnesota State Mankato, Southwest Minnesota, and WINONA State. This will come down to execution and making the right calls as the season progresses. The Huskies at 1-3 have a long way to go. Wayne State is set up early with a 3-0 lead. The Tigers take a 52-yard touchdown from Osborne to Rogers. The score is now 10-0. The Huskies respond with a 2-yard run by Jaden Huff. For the Huskies, the score now set 7-10. Coming out of the half, Huskies score a 2-yard touchdown from Myers to Parsons. Tigers respond with a 17-yard pass touchdown from Osborne to Rogers. Missed the extra point. Score now 16-23. Tigers get the ball back and score another touchdown. Score now is 16-23. Huskies answer late in the fourth quarter. The score is now 22-23. Wayne State takes the win.
The Huskies have had a bit of a rough start on the field this season, but if history is destined to repeat itself, then the future might be looking a little brighter. The Huskies are set to kick off against the University of Minnesota Crookston on October 1st. The Huskies have demolished the Golden Eagles in recent years, taking a win in the past 5 years against the Golden Eagles by impressive scores. Their most recent battle ending in a 62-14 Husky victory. Look to the Husky offensive power to put the team in the win column once again against the University of Minnesota Crookston. I'm here with hockey analyst Joe Scarella, who was at NCHC Media Day this past week. Joe, what was the message from Commissioner Fenton?
Yeah, Alexis, it was an extremely interesting conference, to say the least. In the past, there's been a major change to look forward to in the NCHC. This year, it was a little different. Fenton talked specifically on the pressure of young recruits and the NCHC's role to change recruitment age.
St. Cloud State increases it.
The NCHC, a powerhouse conference in college hockey, a sport where the dream starts early.
When St. Cloud called it, it was really special for me to be able to think of myself in the shoes that those guys were in when I watched them.
But with such a fast and physical sport, how early
We get more pushing it shot.
is too early?
Our industry needs to take a step back and understand the downward pressure that prospects and families are facing because the recruiting process has gotten younger.
The current NCAA rule states coaches can't contact players until age 17.
Big hit at center.
But a player can contact a coach, no matter the age.
Taking a stand that the active recruitment and commitment of 13, 14, 15, and in some cases 16-year-olds is not good for any sport.
Fans and parents all have different ideas when teams should be able to start recruiting. Husky Mag ran a Twitter poll resulting in 57% responding age 16 is the right time, while only 14% agree with the current implemented rule.
Our actions and practices, particularly on the front half of the recruiting process, need to be focused on one thing and one thing only. What is in the best interest of the prospect and the prospect's family?
Families wanting the best for a childhood dream. Reporting for Husky Mag, I'm Joe Scarella.
Now, everyone has their thoughts on when athletes should be recruited, but one thing is for certain. We can expect Commissioner Fenton on the NCHC to push for change.
So, Joe, is there any timeline for this change right now?
You know, Alexis, there was no timeline specifically set, but the commissioner seemed pretty adamant that he wanted change now, so I'd expect to hear more in the next year.
Now, the NCHC is one of the premier conferences in the nation. What influence do they have in a change like this?
Yeah, you said it. Some of the top teams are in the NCHC, so they kind of have a monkey see, monkey do kind of effect on other conferences. So if there's going to be change, I'd expect it to be from the NCHC.
Joe Scarella, cool as the rule.
Thanks, Alexis.
Huskies hosting the Badgers for Game 2 of the weekend. Huskies would get on the board first with Patrica sneaking around the back of the net, attempting to pass to her teammate, but a Badger skate intercepts this pass. The Badgers turn now. Sophia Shaver streaks down the right wing and snipes one past Crosby to get her team on the board. Tied game, but the Huskies would respond as they sniff around the crease for goal number 2, and Julia Tilke would get it. Huskies go up 2-1. Now taking a second look at that one, the puck goes off the post directly behind Desbians and finds the stick of Tilke. Tilke says thank you very much and gets another one for her team. However, 2 Husky goals would not be enough as the Badgers rack up 3 unanswered goals to win 4-2. And the Huskies would not be able to rally in the third after giving up 3 goals with less than 10 minutes left. The 2 Husky goals would come from the sticks of Hannah Potrikis and Julia Tilke. Those 2 goals would put the Huskies ahead going into the third period, but it would not be enough. Taylor Crosby would be the star of the highlight reel for this game with her 52 saves on the night.
Yeah, Alexis, the Badgers would get the win in this game after 2 goals from Sam Cogan and a piece from both Sophia Schaefer and Jenny Ryan. Annie Panlowski also tallied 2 assists on the night. Sophia Schaefer also led the team in shots with 7.
Chris Person took a look at the All-Star goalie. Take a look.
St. Cloud State's women's hockey has a legacy with good goaltenders.
Fitzgerald makes a nice save there.
But now Taylor Crosby has started to forge a legacy of her own. The sophomore transfer standout found a home at St. Cloud State, hoping to fill a big position.
Well, for a goalie, there's only a certain amount of schools that have the position.
And fill it she did, as Crosby started out her 2016-17 season with a bang, recording 51 saves out of 55 shots off the University of Wisconsin on Saturday. Even though they lost, she said it was a great experience for the team to hold strong against the #1 team in the country.
To say that we were beating the best team in the nation 2-1 going like 8 minutes left in the game, I think it's pretty confident.
The team saw a massive change in play from Friday into Saturday against the Badgers. Now Taylor and the Huskies hope to have more progress like this throughout the season.
Of course, I think going forward, we're just going to build off of this.
From Crosby's perspective, she thinks the team played well this weekend and may have just a little room for improvement.
Personally, I thought we played good both games. It was just a matter of us getting the bounces and kind of being ready for what was going to happen.
The Huskies play Merrimack College on Friday and Saturday, hoping to put some wins on their record. As for the young goaltender, she is showing signs of a great future ahead.
She has another shot on deck. Crosby with the save.
For Husky Mag, I'm Christopher Pearson.
52 saves in her first game of the season with plenty more to come from this Tendy. And coming up next, we'll recap some volleyball.
And we'll run through our thoughts on cross country. Don't go anywhere.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. Visit UTVSnews.com for all of your local news. Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Huskies volleyball team has a 5-8 overall record. Previously, the Huskies played Upper Iowa, losing all 3 games, but they were in a close matchup in all 3 of them. The Huskies volleyball team will go on the road to face Minnesota State University Mankato this Saturday. As the season progresses, the Huskies look to improve. Taking a look now at the NSIC standings, Concordia at St. Paul, Minnesota, Duluth, and Augustana led the three-pack. All three schools undefeated on their season in their conference. Homer, Minnesota, Duluth, and Concordia St. Paul will be facing off against each other this Friday. So we will be seeing one of those two teams getting handed their first loss on this season.
The Huskies find themselves on the outside looking in, sitting in the 13th spot in the standings. Unlucky number 13 holding truth for the Huskies as they have only one win in their conference and 5 wins on the season. Now the Lady Huskies look to bounce back into the win column after being handed 3 straight losses. They will be trekking down to Minnesota State University Mankato to take on the Mavericks on Friday. The Mavericks themselves are coming off a loss to University of Minnesota Crookston. The Huskies are looking to turn the tables on the Mavericks after losing to them in every set last season.
On Saturday, September 24th, at the Roy Gryak Invitation, Sam SUNSTROM took 9th place with a time of 23.18. In the 6K race, her average time of pacing is 6.16. The Huskies took 22nd overall at the Gryak Golf Course in Falcons Heights, Minnesota. The Huskies only placed 2 runners inside the top 100. Inside the top 100, the Huskies look ahead, getting ready for the Bob Wilax Invitation on October 7th here in St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Switching gears a little bit, let's talk about a sport that includes both running and a soccer ball. Taking a peek into the future for the soccer team, the ladies will be hosting Winona State University on Friday at Husky Stadium at 5 p.m. The Red and Black are coming off a 3-1 victory against Minnesota State University Moorhead, while the team sporting the purple is coming off a 1-0 loss against Augustana. Huskies went 1-1 last season against the Warriors, beating the Warriors early in the season 1-0, and then later getting handed a loss by the same score. MORIAH Koss will go head-to-head with Abby Bohansky in an offensive battle, while the Huskies hope to come away victorious.
And coming up after the break, we'll close out our show with our favorite segments.
Leader of the Pack and Blizzard's Best coming up next. We'll see you after the break.
Still going on his feet down the sideline.
Shot on deck. Crosby with the save.
Put it in there.
There's a goal for the Huskies! Some action around the Wisconsin Badger net.
Turning over to rain as we go through the day tomorrow.
Currently it's 44 degrees. The rain did start to come down again. We had a short break there.
Bring us up to 10.
You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Welcome back. As we close out our show, we always save the best for last. Isn't that right, Devon?
That's right, Alexis. As always, we'll reveal the leader of the pack and our top players of the week.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for as we reveal the leader of the pack. Drum roll, please. Sid the Kid may no longer be the family favorite after Taylor Crosby's performance this weekend. Taylor Crosby was a brick wall in nets this weekend against the Badgers. The Badgers were scurrying around the Husky net, and although the Huskies were handed the loss, Crosby racked up 52 saves. She is now tied for the 6th highest single game total in St. Cloud State women's hockey history.
Even more impressive, this was only her second start. Despite the Huskies taking the loss on the night, Crosby's performance one for the record books. And now for our favorite part of the show, we couldn't down our top plays of the week. Alexis, kick it off with play number 3.
Coming in hot with Blizzard's best, let's get it going. Coming in at number 3, it's St. Cloud State football and quarterback Nate Meyer going footloose and casually tossing the 61-yard touchdown on the run to Sam Hartman. Nate Meyer says piece of cake on this one.
At number 2, it's number 1 ranked Wisconsin featuring a dogfight at the net before Julia Tylak swoops in for the easy goal. Take another peek, and it's a cluster around the net before Tylak comes out.
And now for the number 1 spot of the week, it's, you guessed it, leader of the pack, Taylor Crosby. Crosby recorded a ridiculous 52 saves this game on 55 shots against the number 1 ranked team in the nation, Wisconsin. This was her first start of her career, and what a way to come in with a bang.
From both of us here at Husky Mag, thanks for tuning in.
I'm Alexis Pearson, and this is Devon Berry. We'll see you next week for more Husky sports.
Watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City.
Here at UTVS News, we are always ready for a new day.
Welcome to UTVS News tonight at 6 o'clock.
Following the lead, the action,
Bench for the extra attacker, down back,
the tragedies, the unpredictability, and the stories that keep our community informed and together.
UTVS News, local news for the Granite City. Visit UTVS.com and learn more about SCSU's television station. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. You're watching UTVS, local TV for the Granite City. UTVS News, weekdays at 5 and 6.